Welcome back to DTV. Our next guest is Daniel Gerke, who is seeking at-large seat 11 for the Knox County Commission. Daniel, welcome to the show, and thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thanks, Michael.
All right, so first off, for our viewers who may not know, what's different about the at-large seat versus the other district representative seats in the county commission?
Well, the main difference between the at-large seat and the other districts is everybody in Knox County gets to vote for the at-large seat. So a much bigger race that you're working with. I think the only thing easier about it is when you're getting your petition signed. You can have anybody sign your petition. It's pretty easy. So, and I think after that it gets a little bit more complicated. You have a lot more doors to knock on,
Right.
and a lot more phone calls to make.
Yeah.
But same voting rights as the other commissioners. It's just you represent the entire county in a specific district.
Right. So what has drawn you to seek this office and to serve the public? What things have popped up in your background? What things motivated you to take this leap?
All right, well, first of all, county commission has a direct impact, an immediate direct impact on what the local community sees. Mm-hmm. We fund the schools, we fund the sheriff, we take care of the zoning, how we're getting things built, and just the growth overall. So my background specifically has been in project management for nearly 20 years. I've worked on multi-million-dollar projects. I lead a team of project managers that manage about $20 million in projects currently. And then on top of that, I've also been a small business owner. I opened up a restaurant, ran a successful restaurant that I transitioned over to a general manager before selling out my shares on that restaurant not too long ago. So my background is uniquely qualified for this because county commission requires us to work with diverse groups of people. And in order to work with diverse groups of people, you have to be able to understand the diversity within them. You have to be inclusive. So my training and my background, actually I have a master's degree in public administration from the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. So I have not only formal professional experience, but formal training in this type of thing. And what I've learned through my career and my experience is that being inclusive, understanding diversity, and bringing stakeholders into the conversation help develop a better outcome for the community. So it's for these reasons why I feel that I'm a qualified candidate to run for the county commission at large.
Okay. So, and are these the things that you believe make you a good representative of Knox County?
Absolutely. Understanding that there are differences between groups and trying to work with those groups to bring them together on a common goal is critical because this is a diverse community that we have. One of the reasons that I moved up here was just the vibrant culture that we have in this community. When I travel all over the country for my work, going to Seattle, San Francisco, Manhattan, Philadelphia, and other big cities, there's a lot of diversity there, but they're ginormous and they're really difficult to manage through. What we have here in Knoxville and Knox County is a unique situation to where we're not quite small, but we're not quite big. We're that perfect medium to where we have a lot of diversity, but a lot of opportunity to have family types of events and other types of events for folks that may not be in that stage of their lives.
So is there any one particular issue that you feel is one of the most important things that you're running on and that you would like to work on?
Yeah, there's actually several, but the one that I think gets me most fired up because it seems like the simplest solution is the fact that we're really doing a lot of development and we're not addressing the congestion of the traffic. We're not addressing the fact that we're taking away the walkability of this county. We have great natural resources. We have the lakes, we have the rivers, we have all kinds of parks everywhere, and we see continually developments going up that are not doing anything to help us get there unless we're in our cars. And if you've been on these roads here, we have these 2-lane roads and continually walking, or these new developments are going up and these roads aren't expanding, and it's just the more congestion. I know North Shore Drive is a state road which county doesn't have any control over, but we continue to see more development going over there, which the county approves those developments going there, and we have no control of those roads. So as county commissioner, I'd be looking at, do we have control over this infrastructure here that we're doing this rezoning for so that we could put more property in? If we don't, then we really need to be looking at, do we partner with the General Assembly to see if they can get us what we need to help with that growth piece.
Right.
So just sensible growing. So that is probably the number one reason that I'm running, is because I really do care about the quality of life in this community. And if we keep getting more congested and we keep making it to where you can't get anywhere unless you're in a car, then this isn't good. The quality of life in this community is going to go down, and we won't be taking advantage of our natural resources that we have. So,
and I think that's a great point. We live in a truly beautiful county and a truly beautiful part of the state and in the country. people come here from all over to witness that. And I think that's very true what you're saying there. But how do you get that across, or what's the best way that we can get that across to Knox County residents that this is an important long-term goal that we should all have and share? How do you sell that idea and get people to get behind it?
Well, I think it's, especially during the school year, I think it's a pretty easy sell. If you have a job and you have to get in your car and you don't work from home and you're dealing with the school traffic in the morning, like you already know that's a problem. You have Emory Road, which is a mix between, is it the county, is it the city, is it the state? So like, who owns that? Who owns that road? So I think people already have a direct experience of what that's like, of watching all the new development going up, seeing all the traffic come down, knowing that it's really, as this county grows, it's becoming tougher to get around in this county, which people will stop coming here if all of a sudden you can't get anywhere. I mean, it's that simple. So I think it's selling itself, to be honest with you.
All right.
It's just highlighting that and making sure folks are aware that the county actually has some say on what happens there.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So you've been out on the campaign trail a bit already. What are some of the issues that people are telling you about that they're bringing up themselves?
Well, one of the things I hear a lot about is the equity in our school systems. There's this whole talk about equality, but then there's equality, which means everybody's getting an equal share of the pie. But then there's the equity piece, meaning, and I think a lot of us have heard the story of you have the three kids on the fence, tall kid, a medium height kid, and a short kid. You give them all, a crate to stand on. Tall kid doesn't need it, but you're being equal with the distribution of that.
Right.
Tall kid can already see the game. Medium-sized kid can now see the game. Short kid still can't see the game. When really the short kid needs 2 crates.
Right.
So I think what I hear a lot is that, these school districts over here are really nice, but then over here we have buildings that are falling down, we have mold, we have allergens, things like that. We really need to be focusing on where there's different demographics within the community, working with the school board, which is well aware of these things, but advocating for them in the county commission to make sure that they're getting what they need and that we're focusing on those things. And then also being careful of not building schools that we don't necessarily need right now, because that also adds to the cost of, now we have these additional teachers, additional maintenance that we need, and now we have sprawl going out, which, not saying I'm against a little bit of sprawl in this community, but we do have to be sensible and smart about how we develop. So that's one of the big things I hear. Another one of the things I hear is just with the sheriff and the deputies not getting paid enough. We continually train deputies. They get to go over to Maryville, make $6,000 more a year after we train them. So really focusing on these types of things, because it's the quality of life in our community. Now, I've worked with a lot of big corporations, Fortune 100 companies and other large employers, and I can tell you very clearly, when they're bringing in high-paying jobs, they look for several factors. They look at the education system that we have, they look at the infrastructure, the ability to get around, and then they look at the safety of what is going on within the community. And overall, that all folds into the quality of life. So if it has a high quality of life and a good happiness factor, I know that sounds a little corny, the happiness factor, but that's a true thing that we're really looking at. So these are the tones and themes that I look at and what I'm hearing from people on the campaign trail. And when you're in county commission, you have direct influence on a lot of things. We have the General Assembly, which gets to tell us to do a bunch of things in the county commission. In fact, I think they're about to tell us we have to go through training when we get elected General Assembly. So overall, they have that, but we have a lot of resources available to us in the county commission to help us make people aware of not only what we're trying to do within the county, but what's going on with the General Assembly, and saying, okay, these are the laws that are coming through. We can advocate and we can educate. So.
Brought up several good points there. One thing I want to point out, if I'm hearing you right, the quality of life factor and that happiness factor you said might even be more enticing to, say, business and future, even population growth or tourism than just more tax breaks.
Yeah. So I mean, when you do, obviously there are going to be some companies that bring in high-paying jobs, and a lot of them, and you want to be smart about being able to recruit those companies in, because there's a lot of competition out there. I think we all, we didn't go for Amazon for Knox County, but there's a lot of companies out there, so there is a lot of competition. So you have to be mindful, keep an open mind. That's one of the things that I will bring to county commission, is an open mind. One of the things I've learned in life is sometimes identifying what the problem is takes the longest time. It's what is the root cause of that problem.
Right. And
then putting the solution in may be a quick fix, but you have to have an open mind when you're going through things, and not really limit the scope of what you're going to do to address problems.
Okay. One of the problems that is popping up in this here in Knox County very recently, and a lot, is the idea of fully funding Knox County schools. So, what's an example of how Knox County schools haven't been fully funded in the past, and how does that get fixed?
Well, I think, like the Project Grad, where they had that being pulled, and the magnet schools. That's recent. That came up, and then we found additional money within the budget that could be sent from over there from surpluses from the previous years. So I think really what you have to do is, it's tough sometimes to forecast and predict what's going to happen. We do have enough data, though. As we go through it, we should be looking at that data and making sure that we're doing the appropriate evaluation of it, and then seeing what we can do with that. There are constraints, like, don't know if many people know this, but as your property values go up, the way the General Assembly put things is the tax rate actually goes down. So instead of benefiting from the growth and prosperity of the community from our tax base, we're seeing it level off. So we're not necessarily keeping up with that. So unfortunately, that's not a county commission issue. That is a General Assembly issue, but that's something as county commissioner, we can make the public and the residents understand what that is, and then help, advocate for them when we're working with the different representatives.
Exactly. Okay. So when you're on county commission, you're one out of 11 people. You'll also have close interactions with the county mayor, who will also be newly elected this year. Several of these people will not be Democrats. How will you be an effective voice in swaying other voting members to see things your way, and to compromise, not just your way, to compromise with other commissioners to get some things done for Knox County residents?
Well, I think it goes back to what the core values of my campaign are, which is we're going to be respectful, we're going to be kind, and we're going to operate with integrity. So in order to build relationships, people have to trust you. You have to listen to them. You have to put yourself in their shoes. I think it was Aristotle may have said something of like, an intelligent man, now this is back in the day, so he didn't say intelligent person, but an intelligent man can entertain an idea without adopting it, right? And so you really have to be able to be willing to entertain ideas, look at their perspective, and build those bridges. Relationships are critical in life, not just in politics, but in life in general. I've worked over 20 years in corporate America. I've started my own business. I can tell you that relationships within my field have been critical to the success of the projects that I've worked on. When I was running the restaurant, my restaurant, relationships with the customers was critical. They'd come in, I'd know their names, and make sure that they would come back, and I would listen to them. And even if I didn't agree with them, I would still work with them. And sometimes I would just go ahead and take care of it, even if it wasn't the right thing to do for the restaurant overall. It's not like I was going to change the recipe, but I would fix what their issue was and move forward. So it's really relationship building, being kind, being respectful, and operating with integrity.
Right.
So.
Okay, so your campaign's ongoing right now. What are some ways that people can get in touch with you if they want to work with it? What are your contacts, websites, etc.?
Yeah, well, my name is probably not the easiest to spell, so if you want to get in touch with me, you can call me at 423-598-9107, or you can go to my website, which is electdanielgerke.com. Gerke is spelled Gerke. Please sign up for the emails. You can also go to the Facebook page and like it. Appreciate it if you send it over to your friends so that I get a lot of likes. I read somewhere very recently that the more likes you have, the better chance you have of getting elected. So, maybe we can try that.
All right. Well, Daniel, we've got just a few moments left here today. Anything else that you would like Knox County residents to know about your bid for the Knox County at-large seat?
I moved here 5 years ago because of the school system and what this community has to offer. It has great natural resources, it has a safe environment, and it has a vibrant cultural atmosphere. I want to ensure that we are enhancing that and protecting that as we continue to grow. So as part of my campaign, I bring a set of skills, an education, and a background that is uniquely qualified for being a successful county commissioner. So I ask for your vote on August 2nd, which is a Thursday.
That is right. Okay, Daniel, thank you so much for being here with us today. And thank all of you for watching our coverage of Knox County Democratic candidates in the upcoming county elections, which are happening on Thursday, August the 2nd. Again, I'm Michael Davis, and thank you so much for watching DTV.